Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tazaris Isom from the King Kong Project. And tonight I want to give you Pan-Africanism for beginners. This is for anybody that's interested in becoming a Pan-Africanist. I know that when I was starting my journey of consciousness, I was looking for a short video that could explain to me the basics of what it meant to be a Pan-Africanist. So let's start. First things first, the main objective of Pan-Africanism is to have a united Pan-African state. Now, a state is a nation or a territory that is politically organized under one government. And that is essentially what the manifestation of the objective of Pan-Africanism is. It is to have a sovereign state in Africa. Yes, I said it. We're going to go more in detail about what does it mean going back to Africa, because you hear a lot of times people say, well, you should go back where you come from. I'm not even going to get into why they should go back to where they came from. But you're right. We do need to go back. It is our desire to go back. We don't want to be here anyway. But anyways, that's what it means to be a Pan-Africanist. It means to want to be unified as a big African family. Yes, you are a part of the African diaspora. You descend from Africans. Now, some of your ancestors were brought to this country or whatever country you're at, whether they were enslaved or by choice. Most of us were probably brought without choice, but you descended from Africans. So you don't have to be born on an African soil to be African descended. You are part of the diaspora because you are part of the Black family globally. So what I'm pretty much simply trying to say to you is we need a country, a government that runs by our own rules. Yes, I said it. We need a place that we can call our own, because for centuries we have lived under the government and the systems that are non-Black. What is bad about that? They don't know anything about Black people. They have oppressed us. They have exploited us. They have abused us. They have incarcerated us in the places that we have come to call home. But simply, we need a place where we can create our own rules. How would you like somebody to come into your house? Because when you got out of your parents' house, you became grown and you had your own freedoms. So when somebody tries to come in and tell you how to run your castle, when you're the king or the queen of your castle, you can't tell me about my life because it's my life. Now, you can suggest some things, but at the end of the day, the ultimate decision comes down to me because it is my house. And that is why we as Black people need to form and to unify under one government, one system, so that we can make rules that celebrate us and our culture. All right. It is important for us to know that, because if we continue to subject ourselves to tyranny, if we can continue to subject ourselves to injustices, what that does, it makes us as a people powerless. And powerless opens up the way for domination. Yes, domination. People will dominate you if you're weak. Powerlessness means that we are weakened. Now, we as Black people historically throughout the globe have been strong. The Egyptian dynasties, the Sumerians, so much of our history shows that we have been dominant. But because of our kindness, we allow people to come in, and colonialism stepped in, slavery stepped in, the slave trade, and we were weakened, and now we're subject to other systems. But that is why our ancestors fought and created this ideology or philosophy or political system called Pan-Africanism, so that we could get the boot up off of our neck. We can gain our own independence. Freedom at its highest degree is to be free indeed. And that is what we want for all Africans. That is what I want for you. I want for myself. I want for my kids. I want for your kids. So it is important for you to catch what it means to be a Pan-Africanist. The next thing I want to tell you about today is that there are 9 things that Pan-Africanism represents and that we fight for so that we can become our own government. The 9 things, I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to list them. Number 1, economics. Number 2, entertainment and culture. Number 3, education. Number 4, labor. 5, law. 6, politics. 7, religion. 8 sex, and 9 warfare. These are the 9 necessary things that we need to grow and develop in to become our own nation. It is important. It is critical. Now, there's 3 ideologies that I want to share with you today that I think give you a foundation to build on as a Pan-Africanist or somebody that's searching to grow in consciousness. These are 3 things that we as Pan-Africanists believe and build on to unify ourselves as Africans. The number 1 thing is that we need the necessity of a unified state, of a unified African state. We need to go back to the motherland. Yes, we have been the guest in the homes of other countries and nations for too long. We need to go back to the place where it all began. Yes, Africa, the motherland, not just black people, but the cradle of civilization started in Africa. So all people come from Africa, especially black people. We need to get back there. Number 2, we need collectivism as a government. That is what we believe in. In other words, we believe that the distribution of power, wealth, and resources ought to be distributed to the population as a whole. Come on, that's fair. Republicans, the Republic has a few representatives or elected officials that have the power of the distribution of wealth. That's why America 1% owns most of the stuff that the 90 bottom percent don't own. That is a problem. Collectivism as a nation distributes land, wealth, and power equally with everyone. Some people may not agree with that. They may feel that it is a socialist type of ideology, but it is legit for Africans. We have the same opportunities. We can succeed. In countries like America, we are behind the 8 ball as black people. We have to work to even the playing field because we have so many things to fight against because of the color of our skin. But imagine a place where we are all given the same and equal opportunity and are treated equally. Last but not least, Pan-Africanism is all about democracy. Early ancient African civilizations, a lot of the nations and the tribes ran off of democracy. Not to say that there were not leaders, not to say that one or a couple people had to make decisions, but when it came to having a voice and expressing your opinion or your thoughts, everybody had a voice. Everybody had a chance to speak and to express themselves. And that is what it is to be unapologetically black, unapologetically African, and to be a Pan-Africanist. It simply means that we ought to be able to express ourselves and express our feelings, because for so long we've been told to shut up and dribble, to shut up and work, whatever the case may be. But in a Pan-Africanist state of mind, I have a voice. Everything that I say matters to my people because we are one. We are family. Last but not least, every nation has to have a flag. I think that is important for us to have pride in something, because a lot of us cannot make it to Africa physically. We may not make it in this lifetime. My hope is to, or at least my kids or their kids too, because that is the goal of Pan-Africanism. But we ought to have something to stand behind, and that is where we get the Pan-Africanist flag that was created by the Honorable Marcus Garvey, probably one of the greatest Pan-Africanists of all time. He created the Pan-Africanist flag, what we also know as the RBG flag, the red, black, and green flag. What does that represent? Because we got to have a flag with meaning. The red represents the blood of our ancestors that was shed for the fight of freedom and independence for black people. Black represents the color of our melanin, the color of the soil of black people, where we originated. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Last but not least, green. Green represents the power, the wealth, and the prosperity of our continent, Africa. Yes, our homeland, our motherland. It is the richest naturally resourced continent in the world. That is where our home is, and I can't wait to get back. Simply put it, if you are somebody that's trying to search and become conscious of your culture, black culture, and to become a Pan-Africanist, I hope that this video has done you well. We will create more content in the future that goes into detail about what it means to be Pan-Africanist. But for now, that is all. Peace and black power. We'll see you in the near future. God bless. Love, family.